In November 2022, ChatGPT burst onto the scene, revolutionizing the way we interact with technology forever. Today, AI-generated content is everywhere, and a new breed of AI detection tools has emerged. These tools promise to detect content generated by AI models and chatbots such as ChatGPT and Google's Bard. Educational institutions, academic journals, and many other organizations are flocking to use these tools that claim to reliably detect the presence of AI-generated content. The marketing campaigns for these AI detectors allude to them being reliable and highly accurate. But truth is, most of them aren't, and they're leaving behind a trail of devastating consequences for those falsely accused of cheating with AI. Even the Federal Trade Commission recently issued a warning on these so-called AI detector tools. Imagine being accused of cheating because your professor couldn't grasp how your own hard work and intelligence led you to solving a problem. Or getting flagged for cheating simply because English isn't your first language. Crazy, right? OpenAI, the makers of ChatGPT, recently shut down their own AI detector as they ruled it to be ineffective. Yet, there are still countless other companies selling and profiting from software that promises to detect AI-generated content. At this point in time, however, it's safe to say that on the whole, AI detection tools are broken. Have you ever wondered how these AI detection tools work or how they can easily be bypassed? Well, in this video, we're going to deconstruct how AI detection tools work, explore the problems plaguing these ineffective AI detection tools, including troubling biases against non-native English speakers, and I'll also walk you through some concrete examples of how easy it is to avoid AI detection tools as they are today. The rapid advancement of artificial intelligence has led to the creation of sophisticated AI models that can generate human-like text. These models, such as ChatGPT, have the potential to be misused in various ways, from plagiarism to scams to the spread of misinformation. So there really is a genuine and very important need for highly effective and reliable AI detection tools. So following the public launch of ChatGPT, there was a surge in the development of AI detection tools aimed at distinguishing between human-written and AI-generated text. However, these tools have proven to be way less effective than promised. So how exactly do these AI detection tools work today? Broadly speaking, and without getting too technical, as it really is a very technical subject, here are 7 key methods these AI content detectors use. These are not in any particular order of importance. First, pattern recognition. AI models such as ChatGPT and Bard often have certain patterns or tells in their outputs. AI detection tools can be trained to recognize these patterns, as some of them might be less common in human-generated content. Similar to pattern recognition, there's also training on known AI outputs. By training detection tools on known outputs from specific AI models, such as ChatGPT, these tools can become adept at recognizing content from those models or similar ones. Then, the statistical analysis. The frequency, placement, and choice of certain words or phrases might differ between AI-generated and human-generated content. Detection tools can analyze these statistical differences to make a determination. And to get really in the weeds, there's also metadata analysis. Digital files tend to have a sort of paper trail called metadata. Sometimes, the metadata associated with a piece of content, like the speed at which it is generated or the absence of certain human-like errors, can give away its AI origins. So some detection tools can analyze this metadata for clues depending on the file type. The next method is a consistency and coherence check. While advanced AI models such as ChatGPT can generate highly coherent content, there might be instances where the content drifts in topic or presents strange inconsistencies. Think weirdly shifting between a conversational and robotic tone throughout an article or blog post. AI models have also been known to hallucinate. No, not that hallucination. Simply put, AI hallucination is when, say, a chatbot deviates from facts, contextual logic, or both in a very convincing manner. For example, a hallucinating chatbot might, when asked to generate a financial report for a real company, falsely state that the company's revenue was higher than the actual amount in order to provide an answer it deems more compelling and satisfactory for the user. Humans can also be employed to try and detect AI-generated content. This is also known as user feedback and iteration. This is when detection tools rely on user feedback to make a prediction on whether something was written by AI or not. If users flag certain content as AI generated, the tool can learn from these instances and improve its detection capabilities. So maybe humans won't be replaced after all. Maybe. Lastly, cross-referencing with known data. In cases where AI is used to generate fake reports or news articles, detection tools can cross-reference the content with known, trusted databases to check for discrepancies. For example, social media sites could compare potentially false and misleading articles with those published on trusted sites such as Reuters to flag false news or inflammatory and factually incorrect articles. Okay, before walking through some of the ways AI detectors can be easily bypassed, let's dive into major problems currently plaguing AI detection tools and the organizations that currently use them. First is the adaptive nature of AI. AI models can be fine-tuned and adapted based on human or computer-provided feedback. If an AI detection tool identifies certain patterns as indicative of AI-generated content, developers of tools that seek to evade AI detection can adjust their AI models to avoid those patterns in future outputs. This creates a game of cat and mouse where AI detection tools are always playing catch-up. False positives are currently a major issue for AI detection software. A false positive refers to a legitimate piece of work being incorrectly identified as plagiarized or generated by an AI model. This can be particularly distressing for students who have put in a genuine amount of effort into the assignments only to be accused of cheating. Such incidents can have severe repercussions on a student's academic record and mental well-being. Addressing false positives is no easy feat, and this is something the AI industry will be grappling with for years to come. AI systems, including AI detection tools, are trained on vast amounts of data. If these datasets contain biases, then the AI systems will inherit and perpetuate said biases, a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy. Such biases can lead to very unfair or discriminatory outcomes, especially when trying to detect content that may be culturally or contextually nuanced. Which leads into the last but certainly not least point. AI detection tools have been shown to have glaring biases against non-native English speakers. Thousands of students and academic researchers in American educational institutions speak more than one language. Yet, a recent study revealed AI detectors had an incredibly high rate of falsely flagging international students as having potentially cheated with AI. Not only can this have massive academic repercussions, but those on student visas could find themselves kicked out of school and deported, all because some poorly designed and understood piece of software decided to claim their work wasn't actually theirs. Before diving into practical ways AI tools are bypassed, a bonus point I'd like to add is the risk of over-relying on AI detection technology in general. With the advent of AI detection tools, there's a risk that individuals and organizations might become overly reliant on them, neglecting basic human judgment. This over-reliance can lead to complacency and a lack of critical thinking, especially when the tools provide inaccurate results. Today, most AI detection technology also lacks a nuanced human ability to understand context. For example, two essays discussing the same topic and using similar sources might have overlapping content. While a human evaluator might recognize the similarities as a result of the topic and sources, an AI tool might flag it as outright plagiarism. Now, for the real juicy bit, let's go through some of the ways AI detection tools can be bypassed. The following methods are definitely not exhaustive, but go to illustrate just how these AI detection tools still have a long way to go in terms of not being so easily defeated. Future videos will dive in depth into the vast number of tools and methods currently being used to bypass AI detection, so be sure you're subscribed for when they drop. Okay, first method, use AI to beat AI. Funny enough, there are tools that help you avoid AI detection. What a time to be alive. Tools such as Originality AI, Content at Scale, AI SEO, and Undetectable.ai offer ways to check and paraphrase your content so that it stands a better chance of not being flagged by AI detectors. Let's walk through a brief example using Undetectable AI. First, we asked ChatGPT to generate a brief summary of New York City. In this case, my prompt is simply summarize New York City in 250 words or less. Then, let's run that in Undetectable AI. First, we'll run a check to see if the content really was generated by AI. Spoiler alert, it was, and it's correctly flagged by Undetectable AI's checker as being generated by AI. Most of the AI detection tools it references, including ZeroGPT, correctly refuse to believe a human wrote that summary. Though, interestingly, a couple tools still had a 50-50 probability of the summary being either human or AI generated. But with the magic of pushing the humanize button, it produces a very convincing piece of copy that has a high likelihood of passing the scrutiny of all the AI detectors it cross-references. The second and probably simplest way to bypass AI detection software is manually revising your AI-generated text and scrambling some words. As mentioned earlier, AI detection tools often work by identifying patterns typical of AI-generated content. So by rearranging your words or sentences, these patterns can be disrupted, thus making it harder for the tools to recognize the content as AI-generated. Tools such as Chat GPT -1 provide a very visually pleasing way of accomplishing this. You simply enter a copy in a text box and it regenerates it with slight variations throughout. So using our original New York City prompt and output, we can then plug that into GPT -1. As we can see in this side-by-side comparison, it does a pretty good job of spicing things up. And for the cherry on top, it does pass undetectable AI's check, though interestingly, tools such as CopyLeaks and ZeroGPT would have still likely flagged the content, so further tweaks would be needed to achieve the perfect score. And lastly, add some personality to your prompts. Prompt engineering is a fascinating topic I'll cover in an upcoming video. But in a nutshell, prompt engineering is the emerging discipline of designing specific instructions or queries called prompts to guide AI models' behavior and output. So every time you type something into ChatGPT, you're basically giving it a prompt. Circling back to a New York City summary prompt, it was pretty basic and typical of what one would prompt an AI model with in normal situations. So this led us to getting a decent but pretty generic answer, which turned out to be very easy to detect as AI generated. However, if your prompt adds additional requirements and context, this typically makes it harder for the AI detectors to pick up on the content as being AI generated. For example, we could upgrade our prompt to now be, act as an enthusiastic world traveler, summarize New York City in 250 words or less in a way that captures your passion for global cities. Now, while the abundant emojis added by ChatGPT may not fly in some cases, after removing them, the copy still passes the AI detection test without too much need for further humanization, as only CopyLeaks would have likely flagged this example. Okay, the methods I've walked through certainly aren't shared to encourage cheating in whatever context you're using AI in. And even services designed to bypass AI detectors, such as undetectable AI, highly emphasize the need and requirement to maintain respect for academic integrity when using tools such as theirs. Instead, these methods shown are meant to highlight how AI detection technology still has a long way to go before it can be deemed reliable, particularly in situations where the wrong decision on whether AI was used or not can have severe consequences for some. I'm sure there are plenty more methods out there, so feel free to share any of the tips and tricks you've seen or used down in the comment section below. AI isn't going anywhere and is now an ever-increasing part of our lives. Rather than focusing on minimizing people's use of AI through detection tools, academic and professional institutions and organizations should be encouraging its ethical use. In education, this is starting to happen, with institutions such as Vanderbilt University recently disabling Turnitin's AI detector. According to Vanderbilt, when Turnitin launched its AI detection tool, there were many concerns that they had. These included the AI detector being automatically enabled for them with less than 24 hours notice, no option at the time to disable the feature, and most importantly, no insight into how the detector worked. At the time of launching their AI detection tool, Turnitin claimed that its detection tool had a 1% false positive rate. But in April 2023, Turnitin updated that number to 4% after wider usage and testing. In the context of Vanderbilt, 75,000 papers were submitted to Turnitin in 2022. If the AI detection tool was available in that time frame, then around 3,000 student papers would have been incorrectly labeled as having some of them written by AI, and that is just an unacceptable amount for such critical situations. Clearly, stamping out the use of AI is not the answer, and the AI community, including OpenAI, does put great emphasis on the ethical use of AI and AI-generated content. This includes using AI responsibly, respecting privacy, and maintaining transparency about the origin of the content. And over-reliance on trying to detect and eliminate AI in certain contexts may have dire consequences, including discouraging original thought. Imagine knowing your work will be scrutinized by an AI tool. Students might then be discouraged from presenting original ideas or unique perspectives and might instead opt for safer, more generic content to avoid being flagged. This can then lead to a decline in creativity and critical thinking. What are some other consequences of faulty AI detection tools that you can think of? Feel free to share them down below. Institutions such as education need to be reimagined for the age of AI. Encouraging the use of AI has been shown to benefit students, particularly those that may be at risk of falling behind, as the AI model will be able to generate a custom learning plan highly specific to the individual student's strengths and weaknesses. This is something that's currently almost out of reach for a vast amount of students, as educators are increasingly overworked, underpaid, and unable to give each individual student the attention they deserve. This is something that's currently almost out of reach for a vast amount of students, as educators are increasingly overworked, underpaid, and unable to give each individual student the attention they deserve. If more focus is placed on leveraging the strengths of AI-generated text, such as efficiency and scalability, while being transparent about its use, then human creativity and knowledge gathering can reach levels that were once unimaginable. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next episode. And if you haven't already, subscribe to Deconstructed for video essays on money, wealth, and power.